be honest, before 2009 the words great superhero game didn't really go together. For years, we got a steady diet of mediocre movie tie-ins and clunky brawlers. They might have looked the part, but they never ever felt right. They were power fantasy with none of the power, simulations with no soul. We'd all kind of accepted that maybe the experience of being a hero as complex as Batman was just something video games couldn't pull off. And then, Rocksteady Studios invited us to Arkham Island. The game boots up and you're escorting a captured Joker back into the asylum. The Batmobile's tires hiss on wet asphalt. The guards are on edge, you just know something is wrong. As you walk the clown prince of crime deeper inside, a thought creeps in. This was way too easy. And of course it was. In one perfectly planned moment, the trap springs, Joker's free, the inmates are loose, and Batman is trapped on an island with every maniac he's ever put away. This wasn't just another superhero game, this was Batman Arkham Asylum, and it changed everything. What made Arkham Asylum so special right away was that it understood you can't be the Batman until you've built his world. Arkham Island wasn't just a map, it was a character. It was a pressure cooker of dread, history, and madness. The art style was brilliant, mixing Gothic, Victorian, and industrial design to make a place that felt both straight out of a comic book and terrifyingly real. Every hallway felt too tight, every shadow was a threat, and you could almost taste the decay in the air. The asylum was alive and you were stuck right in the middle of it. This incredible atmosphere was held up by a story that actually respected the source material. It was written by Paul Dini, one of the masterminds behind Batman the Animated Series, so the plot felt like a tight psychological thriller. But the real masterstroke was bringing back the voices of Kevin Conroy as Batman
Warden, something's not right. I'm going with him.
and Mark Hamill as the Joker.
Doctor won't be a problem much longer. How do you like my puppet? What say we cut him down?
That single decision gave the game instant credibility, making it feel less like a game about Batman and more like a lost episode of the show we all loved. This focus on psychology was baked right into the gameplay. The game didn't just tell you Arkham was scary, it made you feel it. Scarecrow's nightmare sequences are the perfect example. Those surreal fourth wall breaking horror moments weren't just a gimmick. They were a trip into Batman's own fears, blurring the line between the game and reality in a way that felt inspired by classic graphic novels like Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth. Whether you were anxiously hunting Killer Croc in his lair or jumping out of your skin as inmates lunged from the shadows, the whole experience was steeped in a kind of horror that was perfect for the Dark Knight. But a great vibe can only get you so far. The real revolution of Arkham Asylum was that it finally let you be the Batman, and it did this with two game-changing ideas: free flow combat and Predator stealth. Before Arkham, 3D combat was clunky. Rocksteady's answer was the free flow system. It was so good it basically became the blueprint for action games for the next 10 years. The genius was in how simple it was. One button to strike, one to counter, one to stun, one to dodge. That's it. With just those, you could string together attacks with a beautiful rhythm. Batman would just flow between enemies, taking out a whole room of thugs, not with complicated combos, but with timing and awareness. As your combo meter went up, the takedowns got more brutal, more efficient, more Batman. For the first time, you weren't just controlling a character, you were channeling his focus and power. And if free flow made you feel like a master martial artist, the Predator gameplay made you feel like a hunter. In the game's Predator rooms, you weren't the one in danger, you were the danger.
I am not in danger, Skyler. I am the danger.
Using gargoyles, vents, and darkness, you stalk armed thugs from the shadows. The AI was key here, as you picked them off one by one. The others would start to freak out, their calm patrols turning into panicked shouts and random gunfire. This was all tied together with detective mode, which turned the world into a tactical blueprint. You could see enemies through walls, track their patrols, and spot opportunities. making you feel like the world's greatest detective and the ultimate predator all at once. This loop of fighting and sneaking was built on a Metroidvania style of world design. You start with just a few gadgets, but as you unlock things like the Batclaw or explosive gel, you can get into areas that were blocked before. It made you want to explore every corner of the island, making the map feel dense and full of secrets. Look, no game is perfect, and Arkham Asylum had its weak spots. For all the praise the game gets, pretty much everyone agrees that the boss fights were a letdown. Most of them were just repetitive fights against big, lumbering thugs who'd been pumped full of the Titan formula. They just didn't have the same creativity as the rest of the game and usually just came down to dodging and attacking. The worst offender was the final fight with Titan Joker. After a story that was so serious and tonally perfect, ending it with a goofy generic feeling boss battle felt off. It just wasn't the epic showdown between these two rivals that we're all hoping for. But honestly, the fact that these are the biggest complaints only makes the game's other achievements look even better. When Batman Arkham Asylum came out, it was like an earthquake in the gaming world. It didn't just raise the bar for superhero games, it created a whole new bar. It proved that a game based on a comic book could be a massive critical and commercial hit all on its own. By being both a love letter to the character and a genuinely innovative game, you can still see its influence everywhere today. That free-flow combat system became the foundation for tons of other games, like Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and most famously, Insomniac's Marvel's Spider-Man. The whole arithmetic dance of attack and counter became a new language for action games. Even more than that, Arkham Asylum changed what a superhero story in a game could be. It ignored the trend of huge empty open worlds, instead gave us a tight, focused, and perfectly paced adventure. Its own sequels, Arkham City and Arkham Knight, were fantastic games that open up the world to all of Gotham. But you could argue they never quite recaptured that lightning in a bottle intensity of the first game. Asylum's greatest strength was its focus. It locked you in that madhouse and forced you to become the master of it. Batman Arkham Asylum is way more than just a 15-year-old game now. It's a landmark. It's proof of what happens when a team of developers has a clear vision and a true love for the story they're telling. It was a perfect mix of deep storytelling, atmospheric world building, and gameplay that truly changed the industry. It finally delivered on the promise of what a superhero game could be, giving us the ultimate Batman simulation that made you feel powerful, smart, and feared. It didn't just change the game, it built a new one from the ground up. So what's your favorite memory from Arkham Island? Was it the first time you nailed a huge combo, or that moment you realized Scarecrow was messing with more than just Batman's mind? Let me know your favorite Arkham Asylum moment in the comments. And if you liked this trip down memory lane, make sure to like and subscribe for more dives into the games that defined a generation. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.